Hello, welcome to the final month of 2023, where we give the final update of the year before our December update moving into January. Thank you everyone for joining today. My name is Greg Hammer. I'm the head of ecosystem and fundraising at Shardeum. The past few weeks in Web3 have been exciting with growth in the performance of crypto assets. While many people speculate this growth is from the global debt problem and institutions moving capital into Web3 and decentralized networks as a hedge to inflation, as well as excitement for the Bitcoin and Ethereum ETF and many other reasons. What we are really excited to work towards is generating real-world use cases of decentralization as we approach Shardeum's mainnet coming in 2024. Really excited to take you today through our updates throughout the month of November. As always, we'll cover all aspects of Shardeum, from marketing to business, people operations, ecosystem, and technology. We'll cover these last few critical months before Shardeum's mainnet launch and answer any questions you have. With that, I'd like to introduce Shardeum's co-founder and president, Nischal Shetty.
Thanks, Greg. Hey, everyone. It's been an exciting month for us. Let's look at the numbers. So our Shardeum is borderless program. We've got over 226 guest submissions. And this program is about submitting blog posts in your respective different regional languages. We've also crossed a milestone of over 1,000 submissions as part of this program. And these submissions came from over 47 countries, and we've covered over 36 languages. So it's amazing. I think we want to reach 100 countries at least. So let's aim for that. But yeah, right now we've got submissions from 47 countries, which is an amazing feat in itself. The Shardeum white paper, which we launched, it's been converted in 10 languages. And it was unexpected. I think we like to thank everyone who contributed in that, and we would love to see the Shardeum white paper being converted in many more languages. Some of the languages that it got converted into: Spanish, Bahasa, German, Persian, French, and Ukrainian. So there's a lot more languages to be translated into. So if you want to help, please help us translate the white paper. Moving on to the proof of community, we if you remember, we've been running the proof of community backpacking India initiative. In November, we went across 13 colleges in 9 states in India, and we saw close to 750 people participating in these proof of community events being held in the various colleges across India. Overall, it's been over about, I think, 106 days since we started this backpacking initiative, and we've had our proof of community meetups in over 53 colleges in 47 cities across 25 states in India, and we've seen over 4,200 people participating in these meetups. And these are really important because our objective with these meetups is to spread the knowledge and understanding of decentralization, Web3, and it's really working well. The students in these colleges seem to be very enthusiastic about learning what is Web3 and how do they participate in this ecosystem. The total number of POCs that we've conducted in November is 20 across 19 cities in 5 countries. We've had our POC events in India, Singapore, Nigeria, Kenya, and South Korea. And we saw over 1,000 people participating in all of our proof of community events in November. Moving on to the social media updates, we've had over 59 Shardeum leaks created until now. And these Shardeum leaks are community-run initiatives. And if you have any ideas of creating a unique Shardeum-related community, please reach out to us. We can help you grow that community, and we can also collaborate on the efficient distribution of the community across our ecosystem as well. We've had about 3 new Shardeum leaks being created in November. Let's move to the metrics. Can we go to the next slide? So what's coming next is in December, on 9th of December, which is on Saturday. If you happen to be in Bangalore in India, please try to attend our biggest proof of community event that's going to happen. We expect, I think, 300 plus seats are available for people to come and attend this proof of community event. We are also planning something interesting. I can't talk about it right now, but on that day we'll announce. We're trying a new campaign. I hope you guys like it. We also intend to launch a Web3 beginners quiz series soon. That's going to happen. We intend to launch a proof of community in a new country, Rwanda, which will happen this month. We are also planning to launch a developer-focused Telegram group where all the devs working on Web3 can collaborate with each other. That's going to launch soon. We are also building a educational platform for Web3 content. I say this every monthly update. Please create more Shardeum leaks. This is how we can really grow the community together. Can we go to the next one? So these are some of the metrics. I think our website traffic has picked up again. It's a combination of one is there was a major revamp of the website, and it's been very well received by the community. And we've been also working on some SEO related changes, so that's helped. And I think also in general the crypto markets seem to be picking up with Bitcoin, reaching new highs for this year. So that has also helped us get more traffic on the website and the blog. In terms of our Discord, the growth has been more or less stable. We've also seen an increase in the number of proof of community events that we've been running every month. We ran 5% more events in November. So that's about it. I think I'll hand it over to Kelsey to give you more updates about US initiatives of Shardeum.
Great. Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. I'm Kelsey McGuire. I'm the CGO. I'm based here in New York City. I'm really excited to report that we had our best US press month yet, due in part to a lot of factors, but we really doubled down on pitching and sent out a lot of comments and op-eds and ended up achieving coverage in Blockworks, CoinDesk, TechRound, just to name a few. So that was really encouraging and super exciting, and we're going to continue to build on that momentum. As Nischal also mentioned, we did have that homepage refresh. We're refreshing the rest of the website as well. And we saw a really big overall bump, as well as additional traction here in the United States. And our release about that brand refresh made it into Yahoo Finance. So another exciting piece of coverage for us. Looking ahead, we're going to be reaching even more folks here in the United States with a partnership with Milk Road, a Web3 centric newsletter. So if you're not subscribed there, take a look. We'll be featured there. It's really exciting. And then we also are launching more proof of community events here in the United States. In the new year, we'll be working with some really awesome universities as well. So thanks, everyone. I'm going to hand it over to Shahzad next.
Thank you very much, Kelsey. Welcome everybody who's listening to us online. Pleasure to be here again this month, giving you updates on what we've been doing in the past month and what we intend to do in the very near future. So as some of the activities we conducted was we judged at the Dev Connect in Istanbul, the ETH Global. Very, very impressive crowd, about 3,000 developers, and had the opportunity to go through about 40 projects which people had built in a hackathon. We have partnered with Pudgy Penguins for Korea for Proof of Community University Tour, and they have started touring top Korean universities. So that's again an initiative of the Proof of Community from a global perspective. We also had the first Proof of Community in Singapore, and that's been very exciting. That's a new market we're getting into and building that as well. We partnered with Skyline Ventures for Japan to judge their current pitch day competition and support Japanese Web3 founders. So again, as you can see, we have had a presence last month in Korea, in Japan, and in Singapore. So those are very exciting markets for us, and we really intend to build our presence there in the very near future. As part of our mainnet launch, we've started finalizing with a lot of partners, to make sure that we have enough node availability for the community and make it extremely accessible by having a one-click option available for the community members. You're going to see a lot of exciting news at that end as well. So that's coming down the pike. From a development standpoint and a mainnet launch standpoint, we have two external security audit companies which we have tied up with. The first has already started doing an audit on our software, and the second company should be starting in the next week. So very excited that this is the final phase of the software development, and looking forward to a quick and an early mainnet launch. We did several X Spaces in Turkey, in Japan, and Southeast Asia. And one of the interesting things we did was the PingCon Asia-based X Spaces. We did a AMA with them, and we had 55,000 listeners on that, which is probably one of the highest numbers we've seen. So we've also taken the white paper and created an unravel on it to make it very easily understandable by the community at large. So chunked it out into smaller bits for people to be able to read and understand, the complexities which we are trying to tackle at Shardeum. Majority of our team is here in India at ETH India, and it's been a phenomenal experience. Nischal, Omar, both your presence have been missed, but the whole team is here. We've had a lot of traction at a grassroots level. I mean, it's just been incredible to see the people out here and the number of hands we have shaken in the last 3 days. It's been incredible. As we move forward, we basically want to announce our results of the security audit and make sure that we are robust enough to carry the TV we intend to be very soon. We're also looking at doing an audit partnership with some of the security providers for our ecosystem projects. So having all our projects that deploy on Shardeum to be certified, before they do that. A couple of other things quickly. We have a retail staking partnership also coming up, and we are at the cusp of signing up with a lot of exchanges so that we are available to list at each. So thank you very much again for being part of the community, and over to you, Jeremy.
Thanks, Shazad. I'm happy to say that I'm also here in Bangalore this week with Shazad and the rest of the team. It's been a wonderful experience, like he said. So some quick updates. We are now at a total team size of 58, so we're closing in on 60, and doubled pretty much in this last year with these 3 new team members added this past month. As always, check out our roles that we're quite frequently updating on our job page. And we actually recently revamped our job board. So take a look at that. We're also showcasing some of our ecosystem partners on there as well, and their open roles. And yeah, so coming soon, we're throwing a job fair as part of our side event during ETH India. Myself, Will, and a bunch of our other team members will be there. So you can come chat with us and learn what it's like to work on Shardeum. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Jeremy. Also fortunate to be here in Bangalore. As we approach mainnet, the number of projects in our ecosystem pipeline are growing. To date, we have announced publicly about 56 different projects building in the Shardeum ecosystem, but in total, there are approximately 397 projects actively communicating with Shardeum to deploy on our network. So there's a lot of upside in the growth potential here. And a big reason why a lot of these companies are building on Shardeum is because of all the amazing community growth and marketing work our team has done to build a community of users and developers in large emerging countries around the world in line with our mission to enable decentralization for everyone. There's also a lot of excitement about Shardeum's product and the ability to scale horizontally and parallelize the EVM to keep transaction fees low. In the past month, 2 new projects have deployed and added support for our testnets. One being Coin98, which is possibly the largest Web3 company in Vietnam. We have already started closely working with Coin98, hosting proof of community events at their office in Vietnam. We also have a new DeFi application, BenSwap, natively building on Shardeum. We're always excited to see developers working on building new features and functionality in Web3 natively on Shardeum as the first blockchain they deploy on. Our DevRel team released a new product and tool for developers learning Web3 for the first time or participating in hackathons where they need templates to quickly build new products. This is the boilerplate repo that developers can fork, where they can learn about all the RPC methods that can be used with the EVM. Templates are examples of how those RPC methods are used, and template applications like an NFT mint application as well as an AMM that act as a tutorial for developers learning how to create a Web3 application for the first time, and helps them better understand, smart contract functionality. So really excited for the launch of the boilerplate repo coming soon. In addition, Shardeum is launching a founder marketing campaign, which we'll be announcing probably in early Q1. This campaign will focus on helping founders or aspiring founders learn from other successful founders on their journey in Web3 and how they can replicate their success. We're really focused on getting real world use cases of decentralization built on Shardeum. Today we have a lot of AMMs and NFT applications, a lot of social applications and games, but we really want to help founders identify problems that millions of people face in the world that are best solved using decentralization and get these applications built on Shardeum. So excited to launch a campaign that achieves that objective. As we approach mainnet, we'll be launching on-chain quest campaigns on platforms such as Galaxy, WallApp, TaskOn, and a few others. Next up, we have Shardeum's co-founder, Omar, to provide tech updates.
All right, thank you, Greg. Hello, everyone. Somehow these meetings always end up being at a time when I have like either the lawnmower guy or this time it's a delivery guy show up. But yeah, I was able to get away from that. On the tech side, we've released the white paper, and as Nischal mentioned, it was amazing to see the white paper getting translated to so many different languages, and we hope the community continues to translate it to more languages and give us feedback and so forth on what they've picked up from it and any questions that they have. And I do plan to do one of these community hangouts one of these weekends, so look forward to that, and that'll be a great time for you guys to jump in and just ask me any questions that you have related to the white paper or the project and so forth. We haven't done one of those in a while because we've been like so busy working on things, and but yeah, look forward to one of those coming up soon. And then we've have the beta net running, and it's been up for over 2 weeks now, and it's running very smoothly. There's been times when the network's been down, and you guys have been like very patient and waited on us to get it back up. But I'm sure you're noticing that as time goes on, the stability of our network is getting better, and more features are getting added. So we have many more features coming down the pipeline. There's a set of features that have already been completed, which are still slowly being added, which aren't actually on this list. But these are some of the features that we're currently working on now. I think probably the two most important of those is adding archiver verification of the data that the nodes send back. That's just a lot of like signature verifications and robust queries to make sure the archivers are receiving valid data. So we're working on getting that implemented, and then we're also adding more validator slashing rules, particularly rules that will require us to build sort of like new pipelines for how to handle those. And I'm sure we'll be adding validator slashing rules throughout as we move forward. Look forward to more patents getting filed. We do have one filed already. We're working hard on getting a couple more filed, and we're actively working on the linting and getting our code ready for open sourcing. So that's you'll be looking forward to seeing that software becoming available for the community as well. With that, I'll turn it over to Mark and Andrew, and they can tell you more about what's on our roadmap.
Thanks, Omar. Hi, everyone. So the roadmap is coming along really well. We actually, in the last month, you probably noticed we inserted a few additional releases for stability of the network. That was 1.8.0 and 1.8.1. Those were beta network reset and stability and bug fixing. They really made a huge difference in the quality of the network. We will have some additional, thanks for moving the page over. We will have another stability release planned to come out here shortly. The next feature release will be 1.9.0, and that's going to be a very large release with a lot of completed projects included in it. So that will include lost archiver detection, the remaining RPC methods, proof of quorum, large shards, the data distribution protocol, the snapshot and recovery system, RPC server local data, desiloed and cached code bytes, variable silo contract storage, which is actually a project that got completed ahead of schedule. And we have the linting of the Explorer and Collector project, which may be in 1.9.0 or it may come out in another release. It is done, but we're just trying to figure out the right place to slot that in. The team is currently...
And we're able to roll those Explorer and Collector updates kind of independently of what the community sees as a release too.
Correct.
Yeah.
The team is currently also working on features for the DAO, additional linting of repos and preparation for open sourcing, the archiver verification of validator node data that Omar mentioned. We are beginning to do a lot of work on performance testing and miscellaneous fixes for that come out of that, graph support, and increasing our validator node slashing capabilities, and for planning, starting to prep our roadmaps for sharing with the community what we've been talking about, our road to mainnet RC0, but we haven't talked too much about what comes after that. So we're starting to put that together to share with the community. And I will let Andrew talk about any of the improvements or fixes we've done, or any other technical things that need to be mentioned.
Sure. Thanks, Mark. Yeah, we've kind of been on a steady path of observing what goes on in our beta networks and investigate. And sometimes that means pushing out updates that have additional diagnostics in them before we can fix something, and then making some fixes and it gets a bit better. And then we can find, the next area to focus on. And so that process, it's, not the fastest thing in the world, but it is paying off over time. And so really appreciate all the people that are running beta nodes, as that gives us like the best possible environment to be testing on. And so we likely will run a 1.8.2 rotational update to get like several more improvements rolled out so that we can observe those on the network before we do our big 1.9.0 relaunch. And that'll be a good data point for us to get. And then overall, yeah, I'm just pretty excited to see the feature roadmap wrapping up, because that means our team of developers will be able to roll on and get to some of our tooling and testing wish list items, and just like double down on handling like security requests and scalability testing and improvements. But it's pretty good stuff. And that's all for me.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Really excited to see the final features get hashed out here, so that we can, focus on the final tooling and stress and scalability testing before mainnet. Thanks for everyone for tuning in today. We're going to now answer the community's questions. If you have any questions, please post them in the chat. Omar, there's a comment about nodes being in standby for a long period of time. It seems at this point the community understands rotation fairly well, but they'd like their node to become active more often. I think on testnet so far, the shard size has been low, and maybe the amount of network activity is lower than what we'd expect on mainnet. What do you think the node operator experience is going to be like moving forward?
Yeah, for sure. As like you mentioned, our shard sizes are currently, I think, probably about 20 nodes. But in the mainnet, it'll be like 128 nodes per shard. So that'll, and then our total number of nodes in the network will be like 1,300. So that'll be a lot more nodes. Like currently, we only have a total of 300 nodes in the network. So that'll be 1,000 more nodes. But and also we can increase the. Currently, we only have like one new node rotating per cycle. We could have 2 or 3, or as we see what we need. So we could change those kind of parameters to get more nodes to cycle through the network faster. But yeah, we don't know how many nodes are going to be in standby. So if there are still a lot of nodes that join and want to join the network, and we get a lot of nodes in standby, you could still, even with all of these things that we can do, there could still be, quite a amount of time that your node will be in standby. But, the way to think about it is that over a period of 1 month, you should, kind of think that, okay, maybe 5 days my node will be in standby, and then 2 days it'll be active, and then again 5 days in standby, 2 days active, and so over a period of a month, you can calculate out the total amount of time your node would be active and in standby, and based on that, you can calculate out that my return is going to be so much. And we'll also be looking at those numbers very carefully and adjusting our node reward so that it makes it profitable for the node operators, even though their node may not always be active. So, but as long as you continue to run your node, for an extended period of time, it'll average out and you'll be profitable.
Omar, a follow-up question to that, I think, is some people are asking, can we increase the node rotation in the testnet? Do we have plans for that? Like in one of the
as I mentioned, like right now, we're only doing rotating one node per cycle. We can increase that to 2, 3, 4, and that would allow faster.
Yeah, and I'm assuming we'll also be increasing the shard size as well once the
exactly
in one of the future updates, right? So a lot more people will get opportunities to have their nodes being active for a longer time period. I think people just want their test nodes to also be active for a longer time period. And I think right now we've got about 12,000 or 13,000 standby nodes. So on an average, it will take 7 to 10 days. But I could see some people complaining that they've not been active from 15 days. But I think that's also because there's a random draw, random pick of the standby nodes. I'm guessing that's probably the reason. But yeah, I think people are also worried, is there a bug, that's not picking them as active validator?
Yeah, it is random which node gets to join. So in a way, it's a bit like a lottery. Sometimes your node could get, rotated out, but then shortly after it gets back in again. Other times it may take longer. In some ways, this is a lot like, if you were solo mining for Bitcoin and, you could get lucky and then produce 2 blocks, quickly. But then other times you could go for days and not produce a block. But that would only be like in the early days of Bitcoin. Nowadays you can't do that at all. But yeah, so there is this luck factor to when your node will get into the network.
And Omar, when we are on mainnet, do you also think the standby to active validator ratio may have like a more healthy equilibrium where it's not too inflated so that everyone is spending more time in an active state and earning rewards rather than in the testnet phase where many people want to participate in the testnet, so the SA ratio can be pretty high.
And well, there will be actual real staking that you have to do too in the live network. So that would require some investment to actually run a node. So yeah, I think that SA ratio, the standby nodes to active nodes, then we'll really see what the economics allow for that, right? And so we have ways to tweak the node reward so that ratio is maintained in a healthy way.
Wonderful. Nischal, what should we expect of the Shardeum mainnet? I think it's a pretty broad question, but I guess what are your ambitions for the Shardeum mainnet?
I mean, yeah, it is pretty broad. There's a lot of things in our mind, I think. But the first thing is there's a lot of work to be done before. And at the mainnet, at least from a community point of view, one of the things that we are trying to now figure out is how do we have a public sale just before the mainnet goes live, so that there is enough liquidity in the market for people to be able to run the nodes and perform operations on the mainnet. So that's something that we are trying to figure out and understand. Post mainnet, I think our focus will continue to be on a few things. The number one is getting immediate feedback from all of the community members on how their experiences running the nodes, on how their experiences performing transactions, trying to get as many dApps on the mainnet, trying to work on getting, I would say, our open source initiative really kickstarted. In fact, we'll start work on that real soon, but I think post mainnet will double down more on ensuring that we grow our open source community as well. And then I think it's a function of a lot of feedback that we'll receive. It's less about pre-planning everything, but more about keeping our eyes and ears open for what the feedback we receive from all the developers and all the community members on their experience with Shardeum, and we'll be really open to working and enhancing the experience for our customers once they get to use this. So it's less about us. It's more about the community of developers and consumers and what they want. We do have a few interesting features lined up that we'll start work on post mainnet, and I think Mark spoke about it. He'll be working on releasing an open sort of a post mainnet roadmap as well. So you'll get some understanding of what that would look like as well. We'll probably try to make it live in somewhere in Jan.
Wonderful. Omar, there's some community members that have experienced the testnet in times where we've discovered new bugs that we haven't discovered in the past that may have caused some instability from time to time or certain user experience challenges. And from the outside looking in, it can feel as if maybe the Shardeum tech has some instability challenges or user experience issues. But on the inside, there's an optimistic view that we're building new technology from the ground up and solving challenges that haven't yet been solved in Web3. So could you just share maybe the developer team's experience this far in building Shardeum and the optimistic view on the problems we're solving and where the project is headed?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, for people that are, joining the networks, and sometimes, the network is, having issues and things like that, that could look like a bad experience. But, the thing to remember is that, we're really building a completely new system from the ground up. We're not taking code from another project and then just maybe adding a little bit of tweaks to that and launching this as a new network. This is, really revolutionary work that we're doing here. And the other thing that we're doing is we're trying to, get all of the features in before we launch the network as much as possible, so that we don't have to do like really major changes to the network when it's live, right? Like we don't want to, be doing things like, you've seen happen with like the Ethereum network where they completely changed their consensus algorithm from proof of work to proof of stake on a live network. And then we're talking about adding sharding and so forth on a live network. I mean, those are like complete architectural changes. We're doing a lot of that work up front so that we don't have to put the network at risk later on after we go to mainnet. So because of those things, there's going to be a lot of new things that, we're not really going to find out until we actually run these test networks. And by us running these, dAppsnet and BetaNet, it's helped us discover a lot of things which we otherwise would not have, they would not have surfaced. And those things have, caused us to continually work on making improvements to the network. And we're very excited about the capabilities that we have in our network, right? So I mean, you will not find another network that has sharding at, as a base foundational layer. And then also having sharding with linear scalability, having that combined with auto scaling, where the network itself expands and shrink to accommodate the load. And then, on top of that, having composability in the sharded network. I think these are all like amazing features that, Shardeum has, which, haven't been done before. So it's really exciting. And, this is going to be really an amazing project when, we get it launched. So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a common motto in the startup world. It's to build fast and break things. And, I think Shardeum's done a great job of, building as many features as possible to enable new user experiences in this space. And, sometimes the community can experience the, testnet effect of releasing new code, which can be bugs. But the great thing is that we continue to push new releases, and with every release, you experience an improvement in the stability of the network. For example, in our most recent release, we can now see a really strong peg of 300 active validators in the network that isn't moving, and the network is remaining stable. Really great to see that, Shardeum is approaching the end of its product feature roadmap, and the team will be able to solely focus on stability, stress testing, and debugging leading up to mainnet. And we're so thankful for all the patient members of our community that have continued to use the networks and help us identify these bugs and issues. Nischal, any final questions or topics you'd like to discuss?
I think we're all very excited about the next steps for us. I think we've been able to deliver on the roadmap for feature completion. By the end of this month, I think we'll be almost done with that. And the next phase for us is more testing and focusing a lot more on security and stability. So while the team has been doing that in parallel to development, I think what happens for the next phase is the team will have a lot more opportunities to solve all of these bugs and scalability and stability issues a lot faster. And I think that's our final step towards being ready for the mainnet. And in parallel, we are also having our security audits being performed. So I think the next few months are going to be really even more fast-paced than what the last few months were. And you'll see a lot more improvements. Like Omar said, the network is really stable, but we have been pushing even more, fixes and more stability-related improvements. But I think overall, we're pretty happy about where we are right now in terms of network stability. And I think the next part is to now, and it adds up to a lot of the questions asked around, how many nodes are being run per shard right now, and what's the rate at which we are swapping out active and standby. The idea is to now start tweaking that and slowly open this up and test more. And if, and there will definitely be some more issues around that, and the team will fix it. But that's our next step of the journey, which is how do we now expand this and reach a stage where we are really comfortable running a large network on the testnet, which runs in a stable manner, because that's then the validation for us that we are ready for mainnet. So that's where we're going to head next. And we would love all the support. I think we are seeing tens of thousands of nodes. We might need, 20, 30, 40,000 nodes being run in one of the future versions of the validated testnet. We also intend to have incentivized testnet. I think I saw one of that question being asked, but we are waiting for one is all the feature completion, and the second is for the initial preliminary test that we can do to make sure that all the low-hanging bugs are fixed, and then we'll launch an incentivized testnet which I think, if I'm not wrong, Omar, that will be the release candidate, right? The final release candidate, and that's where the incentivized testnet will launch.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So once we have all these features rolled in and ready to launch, that's when we'll do the next incentivized testnet, and we'll kind of put a freeze on the features and focus on really testing this network and making patches to it as needed, but no major features would be added at that point, and just focusing on stability, security, and scalability. So yeah.
Awesome. Thanks so much for the updates, guys. Before we wrap up, I just wanted to reiterate one more time. Shardeum is hosting Proof of Community in Bangalore this Saturday. It'll be the largest Proof of Community event of the year. I was just checking the landing page to register for the event, and over 1,400 people have already registered for the event. The space is limited. I think we can probably accommodate maybe about 400 or 500 people. So make sure you sign up, you show up early. It's going to be a really exciting event. We have some speakers such as Google Cloud, Biconomy, Push Protocol, Dropbox, VCs such as the Spartan Group, Republic Crypto, and several others. So it's going to be a great event with some really talented thought leaders speaking on the panel and great networking opportunities. I think Shardeum has one of the largest presences at India Blockchain Week this year in terms of number of employees attending. Many of you have met our team members from India, but we also have several other members from around the world, such as the US and the UK here in India, to support the community and network with everyone. So we're all really excited to be here. We'd love for you to attend our event on Saturday and look forward to meeting you there. Thank you, everyone, for your continued support and joining the update today. As always, for the next few minutes, you'll be able to mint a POAP proving your attendance at today's event. And who knows what benefits this POAP will offer you in the future. Please mint the POAP by visiting the QR code here. And again, thank you all for your time. Have a great day.
Thanks, everyone. See you. Bye.